Hi, and welcome back to my trading channel where I just started trading gold. I'm in the Forex market. I've been trading now for a little over almost 3 months, I guess. I'm on my third demo account. I've successfully, in my last two MetaTrader 5 accounts, ended in profit each month, and I've just started my new demo account. I'm hoping to go 3 months in profit before I actually go into my own trade. And in this channel, I go over my weekly trades that I do. So if you're ready, let's back it up, baby, to last week. Last week, I actually only made one trade. I'm not gonna lie, life has been kind of busy. I just came from a screening last night off the topic of trading. I was just nominated for my second time in the category of Best Actress for a film I did earlier this year, and there's just a lot going on. So last week I wasn't really available to be on the charts every day on all my time and kind of like focus on it, but I did make one trade and it didn't go my way. And because I promised to share the good, the bad, and the ugly, I'm gonna go over that trade with you. And yeah, we'll see exactly what happened here. Okay, let's get to it. So, like all good things, sometimes it must come to an end and you get humbled a little bit. If you remember last week and the week before, I was kind of knocking it out. You know, I had some really big wins and I was a little bit on a streak, and that felt really good. And that's what I have to remind myself is because my account restarted and I had to start back, it didn't start great, you know, but when I compared them to all my other wins, I would still kind of be in profit. I'm not making excuses, even though it sounds like it. Yeah, the trade that I made last week didn't really go as well. It was 757 of a hit, and yeah, that kind of hurt for a couple of reasons, but let's get into the actual trade and let's get to the charts. Here I am inside Trading View, and we are backing it up to last Wednesday afternoon. I'm just gonna kind of go over this trade quite quickly because don't really like it that much, you know what I mean? So anyway, I was watching gold here and I was kind of seeing what was happening in gold. It looked like it came to a standstill about in this area, so I was kind of waiting for it to make some kind of move. What I like to do is notice where there's already in the past been multiple kind of rejections and where the price settles in the past, because it gives me some indication of when it reaches that level again, it's either going to push up or push down. That kind of resistance or support level is going sideways. And I noticed in the past when it has gone sideways, it's made a peak up or down. So I like to kind of work in that sideways action. I don't trade in the sideways, but when it gets to kind of a sideways momentum, that's where I really start paying attention, because I really only trade on those support and resistance lines. So I'm just going to go over where I kind of had those lines for myself to where I knew where to put the trade or where I thought to put the trade. So just looking back in the last little bit, and it's still close to the price. So I'm not, gonna trade up here, but even though that is a main support level, I like to just do it kind of where the price settled. So this is on Wednesday here, and I had these lines kind of drawn to here. I noticed that around this area, in the past it stopped here and then it couldn't break through again and then it went up. So I had this as a level as kind of what I was working for my main support. And then also for my main resistance. And then also just right up here, I hit it as well. Because here as well, it didn't kind of break through. It started going sideways. It couldn't push through, and then finally it did. So I have these two lines as my support and resistance. But then when I go in for a buy, I really want to try to double down or go in kind of for a bigger buy than just what these levels are. So then I also notice where maybe if it were going to take a bearish or bullish momentum, where do I think, or how can I predict kind of where I thought it was going to stop, where it would peak? And then that's where I like to put my take profit. So in this instance, I just put a little resistance line here. And I thought, did I do that? Let me see. Yeah, I mean, bang on. Even with checking my notes, that's exactly where I put it on the day. So that's kind of cool to know that I look back and it was kind of in the same realm. So let's get to the trade that I made. Just gonna zoom this sucker in for you so you can kind of see what I was seeing. Now, I was going already off looking at the daily and the 4 hour, and then I usually make my trades in the 1 hour currently. That's what I've been doing in the last few months. So just to give some clarity, I'll go to the daily. And then what we are just looking at is right here. So the daily looks like it is kind of going to take a turn in a bearish momentum. And the 4 hour kind of looks the same. I know the lines are a little bit messy for some people's brains, but this is my brain and my world and my trading. You feel? No, just messing. So looking at this, the same thing, I kind of, it's not as clear, but here would have been, sideways momentum, probably would have been good to get in on a little trade here. Same thing kind of here whenever it goes sideways. I like to kind of notice that, and then when it peaks through, make the move. So that's what I was watching here. It looks like this huge bearish candle started forming, followed by this train of bearish. So I was a little interested to see when it was going to break through these support and resistance lines that we've just drawn. I then go into the 1 hour, and this is where I started to finesse a little bit, where it started getting my brain going, where I was like, okay, I think, something's about to happen. It already took a huge bearish momentum on the way down. This up here, this top line is like a major key level. Like in the past, it's never really gone past that amount. That's a major level. So already gold is pretty high up here. But throughout the week, on Tuesday, it went down, 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 and then continued to go down. It settled around this area and then started to make its way up. I wanted to see if the uptrend was going to continue in this time frame and I can get in on a little something, or if they were still going to continue with the bearish momentum. And I was waiting. When this candle formed, it opened like it was going to be a huge bullish action. However, when this dust settled, it wasn't. It was this doji kind of candle, which means that the price opened here. It did, yes, push all the way up here, but then it ended closing here, which tells me that still currently at this time, there aren't a lot of buyers in the market. They don't have the momentum yet. So I was like waiting again, like, are they going to get it? Like, I don't know what's going to happen. And then this baby showed up and it formed quite a big candle, almost close to a maraboozle, I would say, which is something that I look out for. The shadows are very small, huge body compared to the rest of the candles we've seen in the last few hour time frame, other than this one that pushed it up. And I was like, oh, okay, what's gonna happen? And then as this one was forming, right before it turned into this candle, that's when I went in for a sell. So originally I placed, for a sell, I go to this button, the short position, and I placed it, I want to get this right, 197762 here, 197762. So at that time, the candle was still forming and I placed it here. And I did not come to play here. At this trade, I knew I only had a few hours. I placed this trade at 12:40 in the afternoon, and at 3 o'clock, I had to go. Had to go to work because, girls still got bills and shit. So I did not place my stop loss very high. I actually only placed it, I just placed it right above here, just where I thought that if it was going to do a reversal, I would be able to catch it in time. I placed this stop loss at, honestly, as an emergency eject, get me out of here. And I was not willing to risk in this trade losing anymore, because last month I was losing like $2,500, $2,700 on trades, and I just emotionally wasn't prepared to go there. Yeah, you know. I placed my trade, my take profit, all the way down here to this level originally, because I also had a line drawn here just where I thought in the past that it kind of peaked. So in the past, when it did do a drastic bearish action, it made it all the way down to this line and then went all the way back. So if it was going to make it all the way down there, a girl was going to cash out, you feel me? So I already had this line drawn on my chart, and that's where I put my take profit. However, I chickened out real bad after I placed that, and I actually moved it up here to this profit line, just down a little bit, because I wanted to be like in between a little bit. So in this, I just noticed obviously hesitation. I didn't trust it. And if that comes up for me, maybe it wasn't the right trade. What were my confluence to make this trade? I was following the daily downtrend. I thought it was going to continue on the downtrend. I noticed that it broke through my key level. I saw the Maraboozle candle and I went for it. So let's see what happens. So this happened and it almost reached my take profit, and I was very excited. I was still kind of watching it, checking it every hour to see where it was going, and I could have got out of it. And I was telling myself at that point it was in profit over $1,000. It was doing pretty well and I was excited. And I had moments where I was like on my way to work and I was thinking, you can't watch this trade. You're already in the profit. You've made enough off it. You should get out. And I didn't listen to those voices, and I stayed in the trade without being able to really focus on it. And when I checked my time again, I was knocked out. It was over. It was a wrap. That was it. It was all gone. So that was the only trade I made last week. Great times. I haven't had a loss in a while, so you just gotta roll with it, you know? I am currently in this trade right now, which looks like it's going in my direction, but at any time, bitch, the reversals are real, okay? Ugh, it can go any way, but I'm pretty confident about it, and I will be talking about this trade in my next video. There you have it. One trade last week. It didn't go in my direction. It's kind of been like the story of my life with trades, because each account that I've opened for the past 3 months has always started like this. Last month, if you remember, it was like down thousands of dollars. So I'm kind of used to clawing my way back and being humbled a little bit. Because I only talked about one trade, I kind of just want to talk about a few things with mindset and taking it easy on yourself. And this applies to trading, it applies to life, it applies to my production company, it applies to auditioning, I think with anything in life. And I'm really learning that now, starting a new venture, starting something that a few months ago I had no idea that I had access to or that I would be able to do it. So just a gentle reminder that, you know, of comparison, I suppose, and to give ourselves a break, man. You know, sometimes we compare ourselves so much to the pros or to the people online or to other people's successes. Everyone has their own story. And if you're looking to start something new or be someone else or evolve as a person and you go into a new venture, you're trying, fucking kudos to you for trying and making a change And what we need to do is stop comparing our day one to people's day 100 or people's day 1000 or anything. I mean, you're on day one, and that should be celebrated, and you should be rewarding yourself for making a change and taking a step in another direction. Sometimes we get bogged down so much of like the activity of needing to do something or wanting to do something, and the fear holds us back of actually making just that one step. I know a lot of times I want to do things creatively, or even when I was starting this channel and even now, you know, and that could really kill the dream, comparing yourself to other people's journey or other people's story. So if you're in a place where you started something up and it's not, reaching the peak of success that you thought it was going to, or that it hasn't yet, you have to just keep going, because comparing yourself to the OGs or to people that, might have different resources and different stories and different everything compared to you is just going to swindle you and put you inside this box. And I like to live in a world where there are no glass ceilings, and I am in nobody's box. So I don't know. I'm learning that a lot with trading. If you love it and you want to do it, continue to do it every single day. Yeah, I guess that's it. So I hope you have a great week. I'm in a trade right now. It looks like it's going to go pretty well. I'm not going to lie, the next few weeks of my life are hectic. I'm producing a new film that I've written and I'm starring in, and that's going to be wild. I'm also going to be here doing the trading, so please follow along. GetTradingView.com. It's free. MetaTrader is free to try, and just start on a demo account and see if it's for you. And if it is, make sure to follow and subscribe and follow my journey, and we could trade together. Have the best day. Have the most amazing week. I wish you nothing but success, love, and abundance, and happy trading.